Where to start with Meghan Markle? I had a miscarriage. I've had three. The last one, I was pregnant with twin girls. I lost them almost. I was almost 6 months pregnant. Needless to say, it was a very bad experience. It was my last chance to have a baby. I have a son. It made me appreciate my son even more. I can honestly tell you, and any woman who has had a miscarriage can tell you that the last thing you do while you're sinking to the floor is sing a lullaby. That is absolute bullshit. I don't have a problem if of course, if she had a miscarriage, that's terrible. But with this woman, what people don't understand that with this woman, these events are not terrible for her. She thinks of these events as something great because it's something that she can use to further her agenda. So for her, this was not a terrible event. I can guarantee you that. It was not a terrible event. It was an opportunity for her to do exactly what she did. Now, this is my opinion, but I can tell you that I believe that the judge granted her extension because she came to him saying, I am pregnant again, and I am a high-risk pregnancy because I had a miscarriage in July. And of course, I want my privacy respected, and this is confidential because the press will get a hold of this and it's going to be terrible. So I want you to please put this under confidential. Now, the judge granted that motion and kept the reasons for the extension confidential, which is actually quite stupid because this is a public trial. And it's not even a criminal trial, but he still did it. And what does she do? I don't think that you can invade your privacy. I don't think the term exists. Others can invade your privacy, but you can't invade your own privacy. But what did she do after the judge granted her confidentiality? She turns around and writes a very badly written essay, a cheesy essay. By the way, not as Meghan Markle, no, but as the Duchess of Sussex. You see? Because if she had written that essay in itself is so badly written, I would have flunked her if she'd written that essay to me. But the only reason why they're publishing that joke of an article is because she used her title. So people are going on, but miscarriage is terrible. Yeah, for women who are normal and who actually feel the pain of losing a child. Meghan Markle does not see the miscarriage as something painful. She sees it as an opportunity to get more attention, more publicity, and to get more stuff. This is my opinion, and I firmly believe this. For her, it's not a terrible event. For her, I'm pretty sure that she was glad she miscarried. I know people are going to think I'm terrible, but it's true because now she draws on this. Now, why didn't she want the judge to say on a regular civil trial, this woman had a miscarriage and she's pregnant again, so because she's of her age and whatever, we're going to give her an extension for her to carry this baby forward, right? Why? Because she wanted to be able to narrate this event in a way that maximized the public's attention. She doesn't understand the way she wrote it. The reason why Finding Freedom is such a terrible book and it backlashed is because of the way it was written. Now, what does she do? She turns around and makes the judge, thank God, look like an idiot. And I'm glad that she did this to the judge because this judge has been doing some really weird stuff. I don't understand why he granted the five witnesses to be confidential for now. Why? This is a civil trial. These people went and talked to a magazine to slander an elderly ill man who happens to be her father. So now let's talk about why nobody believes her and why nobody has. Oh, and by the way, there's an article, a woman saying that the reason why people are turning on Meghan because of the miscarriage thing is because of racism. Yeah, it's there. There is the article. It has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with lies. She has lied and continues to lie. So I'm pretty sure she got the extension because the judge said, since you're pregnant again and you miscarried in July and you're high-risk pregnancy, we're going to extend this, give you the extension. That's the reason why. I can bet you that that's what happened. So, and it's good that she makes me look like a fool. I'm really happy for that because this judge has been doing really weird stuff. And this is not even that. I mean, the only reason why she's getting all this privileges and getting away with so much is because of the title. So how did they get this title? By fraud, by committing fraud. Because when they both sat down to give that interview that they were going to be working for the royal family, they already knew that they were not going to do so. Now, I don't know about you, but when you start working for a company, or if you want to work for a company, you know the company's policies. And if you don't like them, then you apply somewhere else. Or if you have no choice, then you work for that company. You're grateful, you take your paycheck, but you don't bitch about the company that's feeding you. Now, they are still enjoying to this day privileges and breaks and perks that those titles give, because nobody would listen to them if they weren't because of the fact that Harry is a royal. Nobody would. That is the fact. So they committed fraud to get those titles. Meghan Markle has been making sure that her skanky ass is ranked, not linked. Why didn't she write Meghan Markle? Why? And the only reason why they published it again is because she used her title, and it's newsworthy while using the titles, but not as much newsworthy. So people go on and say, why? Sarah Phillips talked about it, and yeah, but the way Sarah Phillips talked about it was normal. She wasn't getting publicity. You can see that she didn't sit down to write an essay as to how she went down to the ground, clutching her stomach and singing a lullaby. I'm going to tell you something really quickly. When I had my son, I went on a trip on holiday, and I started bleeding. I had my son, thankfully, but I started bleeding and I had pain. I remember I called my doctor, and my doctor thankfully knew somebody in the city I was, and recommended a doctor. First thing he did, just lie down, don't go out, don't move until everything passes, and doctor checks you. Immediately I stopped going out or anything. I just stayed in bed. Thankfully, I managed. I carried it to full term, and I have my beautiful son. But the first thing when you start bleeding and stuff like that is you fucking panic. You do. I mean, I wasn't even, and I think this is normal for everybody. You start, you panic, you lie down, what do I do? You talk to the doctor, because it's not always ends up in a miscarriage. It's a possibility, but sometimes you bleed, especially if it's early on in the pregnancy, which I think with this scandal, if she was really pregnant, that's how early it was. Now, she committed fraud to get a Duchess title along with Harry. They've used teenagers. Remember those troubled teenagers, that interview that was cringe? I mean, I still to this day cannot believe have you forgotten that? How she used those teenagers? Harry walking in a dead veterans cemetery for PR. How they use helpless people with no voice, their only voice, and the voices of their families were immediately heard. Say, you can't fucking do that. You can't do that. So Meghan Markle, going back to the scandal, nobody's invading her privacy. She's divulging constantly all her private details because she wants to do it in a most dramatic way. Again, for her, that miscarriage, make no mistake, was not a loss, but an opportunity to do exactly what she did just now. And the way she talked about it, talking about Breonna Taylor, are we honestly gonna say this? This is why this woman is criminal. And unfortunately, she's still enjoying the perks and privileges of a title, royal title, that the royal family is still not taken away. Now, another thing that I just want to say before I forget about all of this. People, this is not about racism. She is a lying, conniving idiot. She's not smart. Clearly, she's not smart. She's sneaky, but she's not smart. If she were smart, she wouldn't be in this mess. Okay? The only thing she did was con a very idiotic, gullible idiot like Harry. That's it. By stroking his ego. That's it. But she's not a smart woman. If she were, again, she wouldn't be in this mess. Again, people, I've received so much hate mail because of my video yesterday, but I stand by it. The judge granted her extension because she told the judge that she's pregnant, and because she had a miscarriage, she was worried about losing this baby again. This judge idiotically granted that, plus the confidentiality, only to be exposed nowadays. Now, we're forgetting one thing here, Thomas Markle. Any mess that Meghan Markle is in right now is of her own doing. By lying, slandering, defrauding. Now, her father, can you believe this? Her father does have a child. He has a few children, but this woman, if she thinks she has unbearable pain because of miscarrying an unborn child, can you imagine a father seeing his own daughter gang up on him, bully him, slander his good name after he raised her? Anything that she has, she owes to him. All her education, everything. People say he won the lottery, and this is how he paid for it. Yeah, he won it, but he didn't have to give her a cent. What did he turn around to do? The first thing he did? Oh, I'm going to spend it on my daughter's education. For her to turn around and say that she paid for her university, another lie. This woman is filled with lies, backed by Harry, who's backed by the royal family, because to this day, they still have their names on their website. Why do they still have the names on their website? I hope. And another thing, I said it before, the writing style of that essay is exactly the same as the Finding Freedom. I hope that the press does not fall for this bullshit, because we women of the world can tell you that you do not sink to the floor clutching your stomach, immediately thinking you've lost the baby. By the way, if she was holding that huge toddler, because that kid is huge, while she sunk to the floor holding her stomach, singing a lullaby, what happened to the kid that she was holding? I mean, this woman and Harry need to be held accountable. Where the hell is that money? That's what I want to know. I don't care about your miscarriage. I'm going to be very brutally honest. I do not care about her miscarriage, because she's using her miscarriage, if she did have one, for other purposes. She's not using it to highlight a plight. And by the way, people have been talking about miscarriages. It's not a taboo subject. It's just that most people prefer to keep it private. I kept mine private, not because I was embarrassed about it, but because it was sad for me, and I needed time. I didn't want to talk about it. I just wanted to forget it, not to forget that I was pregnant or the babies, but I just wanted to move on. And, but it was something that I wasn't ready to talk about. Another thing, this woman was actively, look at July, because apparently she did this in July. She was seen getting out of a hospital with Harry. Remember when she went like a rice picker with that hat and Harry behind her and that Cadillac? By the way, this eco warriors going in Cadillac, the most gas guzzling that there is in LA. Yeah. She was very active. They bought $1 million mansion house. They were pitching stuff to Netflix. She was seen around town eating lunches, going to San Isidro Ranch. They moved. She was super active in July and August. You couldn't see her. She didn't look like she was in pain. She had her skin resurfaced. She had a nose job. She had new teeth put in. She had more Botox put in. I mean, this woman's face is unrecognizable. You don't want to do stuff when you just lost the baby, if you can avoid it. I remember I had no choice. I had to work, So I took the 2-3 days that I needed to recover, but immediately I had to go to work. She doesn't have to do that, but she wanted to do that. She was in the news, zooming with everybody, laughing. We all are here voting, urging for people to vote. She was doing all kinds of things. This is why this woman is not genuine. She is a liar. I do not feel sorry for her miscarriage. I feel sorry for the baby that she miscarried, but who would want this woman to bring another child into the world, sadly as it is? This woman is not well. It's not, but not well because she's ill. It's not well because she's evil. She's an evil woman. She's a terrible person. I really do believe this, because she did not see that. She's not seeing this miscarriage, especially the way she wrote that essay. She's not seeing this miscarriage as a terrible tragedy, but as a great opportunity. And she puts it out when she wants to, with the narrative she wants to, in spite of the fact that the judge granted the confidentiality request to keep it quiet. This woman can't keep anything quiet. Nobody's invading her own privacy. She's divulging all her private details to the public willingly, but she wants to do it in a way that benefits her in her mind, not understanding that it's actually the opposite. What do you think anyways?